Howdy, welcome to ENGL 0870 section I02 and ENGL 1010 section I10. These are co-rec courses that are linked together, and my name's Eric Fish, and I'll be teaching both sides of that co-rec model. So we're doing both those classes at the same time. You're going to see when we look at D2L that both those classes are in one D2L shell, just to make it easier instead of toggling between two different classes in D2L. We're just going to be working within one class. So it's going to look like a really amped up Comp 1 class when we get to go look at it. And we'll take a look at that here in a second. I want to show you how to access D2L and maybe a couple of little tricks along the way. To get to D2L, it's short for Desire to Learn. You might also hear it called Brightspace once in a while, but generally in Northeast State we call it D2L. You just click on the My Northeast button. It's going to ask for your username or email address. Hopefully you already know what that is. If not, you need to contact Steve Nichols here at Northeast State. But you got to go to next and enter your password. The first time, usually it's your birthday in 6 digits, and then it'll ask you to change your password to something long and hard to remember. So make sure you keep track of your password. I can't help you with your password. And first thing I'm going to show you is how to do the verification with a question instead of your phone. I'm old, so I always leave my phone in the car and stuff like that. I don't have it with me all the time. So I use the question. So when you're on we call this the Okta dashboard. Okta is the program we're using. And you'll see all the different apps you have here for Northeast State. My Northeast is where you're going to have all your student records. That's where you can see your bill. That's where you're going to see your grades, things like that. You do have a Northeast State Microsoft Office email account, and that's where financial aid sends mail to you. So their email. So make sure you're checking that once in a while. You also have a D2L email, which is how I'm going to communicate with you. So D2L is generally kept with it. It's just for communication inside our class. But like when the college emails you and things like that, they're going to do it through the Microsoft email function. You have Office 365 and all this other stuff. You can look at it at your leisure. But what I wanted to show you is if you come up here and go to Settings, if you look over here at Security Methods, you can come down here and set up a security question. Which is really nice. Instead of having to verify through your phone with that 4-digit number, 6-digit number, I haven't done it so long, I don't know how many digits. You can set up a security question so you can get into your Okta dashboard without your phone, which is kind of nice. I strongly recommend you do that. But we're going to click on to D2L. That's where the courses are going to be located. And that'll pop up. If you're not a new student, it's going to pop up in the last term you were here, so you make sure you go to fall 2025. But you're going to see one course that just says go to the other course because I put both classes into this one D2L shell. Still 2 separate classes. You're going to get 2 separate grades at the end of the semester. But since these are co-requisite courses and you have the same instructor for both courses, it just seemed a little more logical to put it all in one course and make it easier to keep track of. The only sticky part might be the grade book where it's just got a huge list of grades, but that's not the worst thing to have to deal with. The first thing you want to do when you get to your D2L homepage is you want to check your mail. You do this by clicking the little envelope, and then you have to click email. And what you'll see is emails from all your instructors, and you can get it from other students if you want to. But if you check your email when you're in your math class and in D2L, all you'll see are emails from that math class. You won't see any from me. So you want to make sure you're doing that on the D2L homepage. But we're going to go ahead and get into the course. Let me get in there as a student. It's not going to look all that different. And what you'll see is the course, the homepage for the course, or both courses actually. And I'm just going to go through a few of the functions. Some of it we're going to learn as we get into it. Like I'm not going to tell you how to use the discussion board if you're not about to use it, right? Um, Probably a very important one. Oh, it's not probably, it is a very important one. The assignments folder, that's where you're going to submit your work. These are online courses, right? So this is where you're going to submit your work in Word documents. Or you can use PDF, but I very much prefer Word, especially for shorter assignments. Another function that we're going to be using in the course might be the class list. This might be a little more important for me than it is for you. But when I email you, I just come here, click on everybody's name, click on email, and I can email the entire class. And that's generally how I want to communicate with you. If you just want to communicate with me, you can come down here, just click on my name, and it'll pop up the email function and just show my name up here. Very important when you get ready to send an email, double check to see who you're sending it to. If you accidentally hit that button here, you're about to send your email to the entire course and to everybody within the course. And you probably don't want to do that. Sometimes students are interested in their grades. So if you just click on the grades, you'll see all the grades for the course. It's going to be quite a lot. It's going to be like, whoa. But again, we're combining the two college courses, 0870 and 1010, into one shell. You're going to see all the grades for both classes. So it's going to be quite the list. Separate out between the 1010 grades and the 0870 grades because you're going to get two separate grades for the two separate courses, right? But they're all listed there. If I ever make a mistake in the grade book, don't be shy about telling me. It's very easy for me to look at all these. This is what it looks like on my side. I can't show you this once we get going. But I got all these little boxes going all the way across the page. The odds are I'm going to mistranscribe a grade or just put the wrong grade in accidentally. Just send me an email, say, hey, I thought I had a 30 out of 30 on journals 1 through 3, but you gave me a 20 out of 30. The odds are I might have put someone else's grade in there instead of yours, right? So, like I said, we got quite a few people in the class too, it looks like. So don't be shy about saying, hey, there's something looks wrong with my grades. Can you please fix it? And usually I'll go like, whoops, sorry, and I'll fix it. All right. Get back in as a student. The bulk of the class is going to be here on the content page. Here I'm at the table of contents, so it'll show you everything that you can see. You might just end up going, clicking on like course documents if that's all you want to see. But there's a copy of the class schedule. I definitely want to probably download that, or maybe even print it if you want to. We're going to come back and take a look at it here in a second. You got your course syllabus. Then I've kind of bunched all the material for the first essay into one section, so it's all kind of located in one place. Last time I did it, I had it kind of scattered a bit, and students got kind of like, it's hard to find things. And so I'm like, well, okay, I'll make it easier. But here you're going to see the first assignments that are coming due during the first week of class. And then there's the material for the first essay. And as we get on to the next essay, then you'll see essay number 2 material and all that stuff. And we'll just keep adding as we go along. You see the journal entries. You'll see the course videos. And it kind of just shows you how to do the various assignments. It's missing video number 1 because this is what I'm doing right now. Then you'll have a help resources page. And of course, if you're like, hey, can you put some more information on this up there on D2L? I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. Alrighty. So, I want to look at the syllabus first. Well, let's look at the schedule first, actually. Pull that up. Alrighty, so here's the schedule. I've got both classes listed on the schedule, so we can kind of see all the work we're going to do all in one place. That's just a lot easier than having a separate 0870 schedule and a separate 1010 schedule, I think. And the whole idea of these two classes is the 0870 course supports the work we do in the college level 1010 class. The 0870 be really focused on exercises, things helping you with the course or helping you with the first essay. And also it involves draft review, which we'll talk about here in a little bit when we look at the syllabus. And then the 1010 course is the college level work that we're going to be doing, the essays, peer reviews, things like that. Make that a little bit bigger. All right, so the first couple of days of the semester, just want you to watch this video, kind of catch your breath. Uh, Things are due on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We're taking Wednesdays off just to get us a break in the middle of the week. And when something says due, it's due that night at 11:59 p.m. Kind of an important note, if you're a night owl, I'm not actually up at midnight. I'm usually in bed by about 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So if you're working at, at 3 in the morning, I will never know the difference. As long as it's there when I get up in the morning and start to grade stuff, I'm happy. So you don't have to email saying, hey, can I get this in at 12:30? It's like, one, I probably won't even be up to answer the email. And two, that's fine. But definitely went in there the next morning when I'm ready to grade the assignments. But when it says due, that means something's due that day or that night. And you can see we're separating out the two classes, or at least the grades in the two classes here on the schedule as well. But hopefully it's kind of integrated pretty well. It's kind of nice that I get to teach both sides of this. Usually different instructors teach the 0870 and the 1010 courses, so I get to kind of make this a little more seamless and a little more have things go a little more smoothly. And it all kind of makes a little more sense, as we're building towards that first essay. You're going to see some major due dates are going to be bolded. The draft's very important for the 0870 course. That's a major chunk of that grade. And of course, the final version of the essay is a major chunk of the 1010 grade. So, but we're going to be working with 4 major essays as we go through the semester. And generally, each essay is going to follow the same process where we do pre-writing, which we're going to be doing exercises and journals and reading the assignment and reading, doing videos like this and going over the assignment. Then we move on to the drafting stage where you're actually having to write. And that's kind of what's happening here with like the first 2 paragraphs, draft being due. You're going to be writing the essay itself. Then the next step of the writing process will be revising and looking for any errors within the draft. That's what we're going to be doing with the peer reviews. Then, of course, I'll be going over the peer reviews as well as part of my review process. And then the final step of the process is kind of editing and submitting the essay for a grade. So you're going to get those peer reviews back and my review back and be able to make any corrections and then submit that essay for a grade. And eventually after that, we're going to have one more step where we're going to revise it one more time based on the grading and put that in an e-portfolio in D2L. But we're going to do that process 4 times throughout the semester. So if you kind of get towards the end, kind of like, we keep doing the same thing over and over just with harder essays, it's like, exactly. It's kind of a recursive process if you want to impress somebody at the dinner table tonight. Where you kind of do the same thing, but it gets more complex and a little, I don't want to say harder, but a lot more complexity, a little more critical thinking. Alrighty. So that's the class schedule. You also have the syllabus here. Take a good look at that. You're going to be doing the syllabus quiz. So I'm not going to read this entire thing word for word. But it has all the information for the course. When you contact me, I really much prefer D2L email. I put my Northeast State email just for emergencies. But sometimes, particularly if you're emailing from like a Yahoo or a Google account, sometimes it can go into my spam folder, or I may not recognize who Boogie Boy 458 is and just not even pay attention to the email. Generally, you don't want to call my office phone. I'm not there very much. I teach dual enrollment and I teach online. I'm not in my office very much, so best way to contact me is D2L email. These are writing classes, and there's the course descriptions, but we're focused on writing, learning to write essays, particularly incorporating research into our writing and doing that without using AI or plagiarizing. There's no textbook for the course. Everything's going to be in D2L. And there's the grading breakdown for the 2 courses. If you go to pages 6 and 7, you'll see page 6 here is all the grades we're going to be doing for the 0870 side. And you kind of see focused on exercises, discussion boards, e-portfolio. But the bulk of the grade is you submitting your drafts for review before the Comp 1 side grades that grades to the essay. That's the half the grade for that 0870 course. Then you see all the grades for the 1010 course. We're working with journals, the peer reviews, the essay itself, and then revising and posting the graded version into the e-portfolio. And again, just repeating that process over and over throughout the semester. All right, so if you want to keep track of your grades, you can print that off and keep track of your grades as they come in. Make that bigger. There we go. If the policies are put in boxes, that's probably where a lot of the concerns that occur throughout the semester tend to happen. Big thing, if something's going on, don't just disappear in the class. Let me know what's going on so I can try and help. Or just let me know you're still wanting to stay in the course. I mean, if you just disappear for 2 or 3 weeks for whatever reason, it's hard to get back into the course because, one, I don't know if you're going to continue. It's not unusual for students just to go disappear. Hopefully they don't physically disappear, but they disappear from the course. But if you have trouble, concern, if you just don't understand something, if you can't find something, email me and let me know, and I'm here to help, right? But if you don't tell me the problem, if you just stay at home just getting frustrated and mad and all that, well, I can't help you. You gotta let me know what the problem is. Make sure you save your work. Don't get your essay almost done and have your toddler throw your laptop in the toilet or something like that, or have your ex go in and delete all your files out of Google Docs or whatever might happen. Make sure you save your work in at least 2 locations. Don't delete or throw out stuff until you get your final grade. Any graded work till you get your final grade. Gotta check your D2L email every day. You can do it from your phone. It takes not even 30 seconds to do it on your phone. It's a pain if you're starting over and have to get into Okta and get over there and do this and that. But you should be checking your email every day. And I will check my email by 3 p.m. every day. I'll probably definitely do it a few times throughout the day during the week. And I'll be checking it on the weekend as well. Very important. Pay attention to that the draft when drafts are due for the 0870 side, because as the 1010 teacher, I will not grade an essay unless I've seen the draft and we've gone through that peer review process and my review of your essay. But this course is asynchronous. We're not going to meet at any particular time as a group. And it just says, of course, assignments are due on the given night. But like I said, I'm not really up at midnight, so kind of be a loosey-goosey with that, 11:59 thing, but definitely want it there by the next morning. Then all the late work. This is a super important policy here. I need to see you working on the essay. If I say I want to see your topic first, and I want to see your thesis statement, your first 2 paragraphs, your draft, then you got to participate in peer reviews. I want to make sure you're writing your essay. It's pretty easy to get into AI and just have it type something up for you. Usually it's garbage anyway, but make sure you're meeting those scaffolding requirements. When you do send emails, make sure you ask the question you mean to ask. If you just send me an email saying, hey, this assignment's hard, I'm going to be like, yes, some students find that challenging. And you're like, well, you didn't help me at all. I'm like, well, you didn't ask me a question. What do you want from me? So make sure to say, hey, I'm having trouble with this particular thing, or I cannot find this assignment, or whatever concern you want me to address. Try and be direct, so we're not, sending 3 or 4 emails to each other trying to figure out what your initial question was. We're going to work with this honor code a little bit, particularly in the first journals. So I'm not going to read that whole thing to you, but don't use AI. For spell check, that's probably okay because it's giving you the option to say, do you want to change this word to this word? Are you sure this is the right word? But if you just get Grammarly on there and say, fix my essay and make it an A Grammarly, and it starts rewriting your sentences. 1, it's going to be some wonky sentences. 2, our AI detector is going to light it up. And, you're going to start running into a whole lot of trouble because that's academic misconduct, and it's a great way to get a 0 on an essay. So we're going to be talking about that, particularly with the first essay a little bit. If you're going to go on vacation or it's an internet class, you can do this from anywhere. I do it too. I'm not always at my house, in my office or somewhere doing this. Sometimes I'm in a hotel room. So make sure wherever you're going, you have internet access. Or if something happens to your home internet, keep in mind, Starbucks, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Every library in the country, they all have internet access. Walmarts have internet access. Most grocery stores have internet access. You can't just sit in your house hoping somehow somebody brings a wheelbarrow full of internet access to your front door. You might have to get out and find you some access. But again, we don't spend a lot of time just sitting there on the internet in this class. A lot of it's you're doing your writing and all that. Unless you use Google Docs, you gotta have the internet. But make sure you know where you're going to be able to participate in the course. Yeah, generally there's no class cancellation. If it snows and Sullivan County is out, we don't care. Now, if it's the snowstorm of the century and nobody has electricity for a week, then we might have to deal with something, right? We had to deal with the flooding last fall, and we had to really help some students out there. So, but generally we're not going to cancel a class just because like the high schools cancel class or something. The rest you can read. Those are kind of the major ones on my side. Obviously, there's policies that are probably a little more important to you all. But so as we're looking at what's coming to do this week, nothing's due on Monday. You're just watching this video for Tuesday. Then material starts coming due. There's the intro paragraph. It's also a formatting exercise. Then you have the syllabus quiz. And to find those, you'll just come to the table of contents, go to exercises and essay for essay number 1. There's the syllabus quiz. There's the formatting assignment. And the videos down here, of course, videos will show you how to complete the syllabus quiz and do that formatting assignment in Word or in Google Docs. And generally, Office 365 and Pages, if you have a MacBook, are going to function the same way as Google Docs. You have to produce the document in Google Docs, download it to your computer, and then upload it into D2L. Just this extra step with Google Docs, but it works perfectly well. Alrighty. That's kind of an overview, kind of showing you where everything is. If you've already had an internet course here at Northeast State, a lot of this you kind of go like, all right. And that's a beautiful thing about YouTube videos. You can increase the speed of them, the playback speed if I'm going a little slow for it. But it's also good you can stop the video if I'm wearing you down a little bit too. But I'm looking forward to a good semester. Again, if you have any questions at all, get on D2 email and ask the question. Even if you think it's just kind of a silly question. I know he told us where it was, but I can't find it. It might be me. I may have forgotten to click the little button that releases that assignment, or I might have had a brain fart and just did something kind of silly. So don't be shy about asking questions. Let me know if you can't find something, particularly in this first 2 weeks, but throughout the semester. But again, I'm looking forward to a good class, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.